Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. I'm very excited to get my hands on the brand new Wilson Staff Cortex Driver for me to review and test for you guys out there. So some of you may have seen the series, that Driver to Driver 2 series, where basically anybody could submit a design of a driver from anywhere across the world. It was all whittled down over a series of episodes, got to the finale, and Cortex ended up being the winner. And what a driver this is, by the way, with the looks of it initially. So I'm really excited to test this, and that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. But just before we jump into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Hit the logo in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, MNG. Hit the bell icon to get notifications of any future videos. Also hook up on my social media, stay in contact that way, both Twitter and Instagram, and both handles there are at MN Golf Coach. Okay, so Cortex Driver from Wilson, and to be honest, first impressions when I got this out of the box, took the head cover off, was wow, this looks beautiful. It's a very quality looking golf club in my opinion, and something maybe a little bit different for Wilson. Sometimes we maybe associate Wilson with maybe that cheaper sort of bracket there. Having said that, they make some fantastic product, don't they? You know, I've got the irons, those V6 forged irons are beautiful. You know, they're really, really good quality iron. But sometimes Wilson isn't on the radar for a lot of consumers when they're out there in that purchasing mode, and probably more so with the driver. So this is now, I think, priced up there at £400, maybe sort of the same in dollars, maybe a little bit more, I'm not too sure, but it's more in that premium bracket, so it's up against the Callaways, the TaylorMades, the big boys in this sort of driver category, in a very aggressive category really, and competitive one. So it's a big move for Wilson, but again, as I got this out of the wrapper and the head cover, it's got that quality look to sit at that price point. So I've got myself set up obviously with GC2 HMT on the floor here, so we're going to get this first one hit, and I tell you what, when I sit that down by the golf ball, that looks beautiful. It's a lovely shape, quite a sort of compact look sort of head. It doesn't look a 460cc, but it just looks really nice and square there. That's a nice ball flight, just up that left side a bit there. Yeah, just pulled that one a little bit there. Felt good. The sound's quite loud. And obviously what we're seeing here is a lot of fibre, carbon fibre in here in this. So it's like a titanium skeleton, but then 44% of the head is actually replaced with carbon fibre. And you hear that. As soon as I hit that shot there, you can hear that carbon fibre sort of sound in a way. It doesn't sound as tinny that sometimes you get with like a full titanium drive with this carbon in there. It's definitely a slightly sort of different sound really. Oh, it's lovely. Feels really nice. That's flight, very nice penetrating flight. Now, in all fairness, this isn't probably 100% spec to me. Literally managed to get my hands on this, and I wanted to get this video out to you just to get the whole idea of this sort of club. So maybe look at these numbers here, but I've got this in an Atmos tour spec Fujikura shaft here, which is stiff. So this is the blue version, which is the mid sort of launch. So they do a red, which is a lot softer, a little bit high launch and higher spinning. This is like a mid launch shaft, and then they do a black, which is more low spin, which is probably a bit more of the shaft, would probably suit me, but I've got this in the blue in a stiff, so maybe not quite perfectly tuned to me shaft wise. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the technology and what's happening in the head. As I say, there's a lot of carbon fibre, so they're very much saving weight and repositioning it and allowing a little bit more adjustability. So on the sole of the club, we've got a centre track from the front to the back. So this is obviously dialing in a little bit of that launch and that spin characteristic. So we've got obviously moving that weight to the back section gives us that high flight, moving it to the middle, a little bit more mid launch, and then moving it to the front is lowering that spin and getting that launch out a little bit lower. I've personally got this forward because I need to try and keep my spin down, so I've got it in that further forward position to try and do that. Obviously, when you put it in that further forward position, you are going to sacrifice a little bit of forgiveness by doing that. So always maybe sort of bear that in mind. So when it's set at the back is always the more most forgiving option, basically. Okay, I'm just going to get another one hit, and then we'll talk a little bit about movable heel and toe weights. Does sit beautiful behind the ball. Just see a little bit of that carbon effect on the top of the head, that gloss black finish, black face. It looks very, very stunning. Oh, just leave that a bit up that right hand side there, but not too bad to be fair. It feels great. It feels really solid off the face. It's got definitely a positive crack to it as you hit it. Feels really nice. So movable weight, we've now got heel and toe, so we've got a neutral setting and a more draw bias setting. So we've got an 8 gram weight and a 2 gram weight. So position the 8 gram weight, which is what I've got it set up here, in the toe section actually makes this a neutral performing driver. And then when you switch the 8 gram into the heel and obviously 2 into the toe, making that heel a little bit heavier, slowing that heel down, making that toe travel a little bit quicker, just encourages a bit more of that closure of the face for more of that draw biased sort of ball flight. So you can dial in that left to right sort of ball flight as well as the up and down with that centre track. Then going into this hosel, obviously loft adjustment. I've got this is a 9-degree head. I've got it set at 9 degrees, so it's set standard, and to be fair, that sits very, very square as I sit it down, which I love. I just don't like anything sitting too close personally. But then you've got options to go up or down by increments of half a degree, so you can go up to 2 degrees and down by 1 degree, okay, in half a degree increments. So a lot of adjustability there to really sort of dial this in. But loving the look of it. I think it looks stunning with the white shaft against the black head. Feels great. I think this is just spinning up a little bit for me. Again, probably more to do with the shaft than anything else, in all fairness. So if I just, hopefully I could get hold of the black shaft and maybe just to do another video with that different shaft in there. It might be a good video of just a comparison between this mid launch and that lower launch shaft. But that feels fantastic. I love the feel of that. I love the look of it. I think Wilson have definitely made a great driver here, quality-wise. Again, whether they sell at that price point, you know, we'll have to wait and see, but superb looking club. Okay, so gonna finish on one more and then we'll look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. Love it. Love the sound of that. Feels superb. Could be a new Wilson driver. It's got me a Wilson irons, who knows, eh? Okay, so 291, so decent distance there. Again, it just feels a little bit like it's climbing and stalling a little bit. Interested to see those spin numbers. Yeah, I think that was around 3,000, that last one there. So I could just sort of see it climb. Again, I think the shaft change will make a bit of a difference to that. But let's look at some numbers a little bit more detailed for the new Cortex driver from Wilson. Okay, so let's look at some numbers here. So I've got club head speed just around that 112 mile an hour mark. A little bit down on my club head speed, but that's just me. It's a cold day. I've got plenty of layers on, so just slightly down on my club head speed. Ball speed 161.8, so nearly 162. So that's a decent ball speed really in relation to that club head speed. Launching just under 11 degrees, sorry, there, and spin on average there at 2662. So not horrendous there, just last two creeping up a little bit more. I definitely saw that, just that little climbing one. You see that first one at 1800 revs, so that was a little bit, that sort of high toe strike I tend to get now and again, which obviously pulls a lot of spin off, but that's more strike more than me really. As I say, with that black shaft, that lower spinning shaft, a little bit firmer, it does feel a little bit soft. Feels like I've just got to wait for that shaft a little bit there. But having said that, those numbers are pretty decent to be fair, and I like the flight it was coming out at. So peaking at 32 yards and descending at 38 degrees, coming to land. So it's going to want to trot a little bit as well, which is good. So carrying it 271, total distance 295. Okay guys, so there we go, Wilson Staff Cortex Driver. Welcome to the driver game, Wilson. This is a really good driver. As I say, I love the look of it, the finish of it, it looks high quality. The top and the appearance behind the ball to my eye looks absolutely stunning, really appealing. It'd be really interesting just to get that dialed in exact for me, and you never know, it could be possibly a new driver in the bag, who knows. But well done Wilson, I think it's a great driver. Will it sell at that price point with the other big boys in that category? I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see on that. It's maybe a little bit of a tougher sell, but I think get that in people's hands, they're going to enjoy hitting that. So big thumbs up there from Wilson. I think it's a great driver. So if you enjoyed the video, thanks very much for watching. Do comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did you watch the Driver to Driver 2 series? I thought it was a really interesting watch, seeing some different designs, some wacky designs. and going through that sort of process, really, I thought it was really, really good viewing. And again, the winner very deservedly there with the Cortex. I think it's a great driver there. So let me know your thoughts if you watch that series down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, very much appreciate it. Also follow my social media platforms, so both Instagram and Twitter at MN Golf Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.